Don't forget the Arekkz Gaming Festive Sweater and the limited edition pins are on sale right now. If you want to support all the cool stuff we've been doing, then you can pick one of these up and look super awesome in your office Christmas party. Hey, what's going on guys? Arekkz here. Welcome back to another video for Monster Hunter World Iceborne. And today, I want to bring you guys a mix set, not as part of Mix Set Monday. I mentioned in the previous video, if you guys caught the Stygian Zinogre video this weekend, that Mix Set Monday will be making a return very soon once some of the new monsters have been added. Some of the sets that have been being submitted recently have been quite similar, and I didn't necessarily want to keep putting together videos if there isn't anything drastically different. However, today, I did want to do something different, since we know that Stygian Zinogre is dropping later on this week, and of course, hopefully, the other mysterious black dragon, or whether that's coming a little bit later, we still don't know. We'll find that out, of course, during the developer diary, but knowing that Stygian Zinogre, at least, is dropping this week, and knowing from previous games that he is incredibly weak to thunder, I wanted to put together a specific anti-Stygian Zinogre set. The Stygian Zinogre Destroyer, if you will. So, that's what we're going to do today. We're going to take a look at this because it's quite a cool set. I had a lot of fun with it, and believe it or not, for once, it doesn't use the Garuga legs. We're, of course, building this set around the Charge Blade, and I'm predominantly building this one with file attacks in mind, specifically Super Amped Discharge. Some monsters, it's not necessarily always viable, but Zinogre is quite predictable in movement and isn't necessarily the fastest monster, so I think of some of the kind of targets we'll be fighting, it's one of those ones where you can slightly more reliably get your SADs off. So with that being said, that's kind of what I went into this set with. It's comprised of the Brachydius Helm Beta Plus, the Damascus Mail Beta Plus, the Rexroar Braces Beta Plus, and the Tentacle Coil Beta Plus, as well as the Tentacle Greaves Alpha Plus. As for your mantles, in this situation you can use kind of whatever you want, it's not really that applicable to this set. We then have the maxed out Shock Charm 5, which of course gives you that nice boost in Thunder Attack, and we have Despot's Thunder Gale, which is the Zinogre Charge Blade. Of course has a nice degree of Thunder Element on it, much higher than I would have liked to have used the Black Eagle Charge Blade, because I mean the design is so cool, but since we're leaning here into elemental attack, we of course need to go towards what is the highest attack, and that of course gives us the Zinogre Charge Blade. Kind of funny, kind of fitting that in order to prep for Stygian Zinogre, we're going to be putting together a Zinogre weapon, which is going to be using to take down its dragon brother. Either way, if we then turn our attention to the decorations, I have a magazine jewel in place. I then have a couple of Guardian attack jewels. This is largely speaking just to kind of boost up to the level 4 margin. And of course, since I'm using Charge Blade, I will be doing a lot of guard pointing anyway, so that's of course very nice. If I'm going to be guard pointing, might as well get that free boost along the way. I've got some Vitality jewels in here, some Charger jewels, some Bolt jewels, Resistor jewels, and of course Iron Wall jewels to push that guard up to level 3. Altogether, this thing gives me a nice set of skills. The first thing is, of course, the Namiel 2-piece set bonus, Element Acceleration. Of course, with this one, continued attacking a monster not only activates free element and ammo up level 2, but more importantly for this set, it increases elemental damage. And as mentioned, since in this situation we're not worried about crits, because of course the files don't crit, then what we want is just pure elemental damage. And the reason we've only gone 2-piece and not 4-piece is because if you have Thunder Attack level 6 with the Zinogre Charge Blade and Namiel Divinity level 2, that will hit the elemental caps. There is no need to go 4-piece because it simply is not going to yield any greater value. So for the purpose of this, we can just go with 2-piece set bonus. Of course, we have the Thunder Attack level 6 for that plus 20% Thunder Attack, bonus 100 on top. We have the default attack level 4. I went through various different permutations for this set. At one point, I went kind of full on overkill and it had maxed out attack level 7, but that was kind of unnecessary for the purposes of what I'm trying to do here, so I capped it out at 4. I, of course, have health boost level 3 for that nice plus 50 health bar. Always kind of handy. Obviously, it's not a necessity, but if you're fighting a brand new monster, especially if some of you guys have never fought Stygian Zinogre before, then it might come in handy. You might just be, it might be the difference between life and death. So I never sniff a health boost. It's always quite nice. We then have Blight Resistance, which of course nullifies all elemental blights, and since Stygian Zinogre is all about Dragon Blight, and Dragon Blight is probably one of the more annoying ones, since especially for elemental users, it strips the element from your weapon. So basically the reason this is in here is so that even if I get hit by some of the dragon attacks, which is, let's be honest, going to be quite likely, I'm still going to get hit by Stygian Zinogre, then at least this way I can continue to attack knowing that my elemental output will always be there. The last thing you want to do is build a set around element and then suddenly find you've been inflicted by Dragon Blight and then half the kind of benefit of your set is out the window. So this way I can go through, even if I get hit, yes I'll still take some damage, but at least my elemental output will always be there. On top of that, we also have Focus level 3, which of course increases the gauge fill rate by 20% and reduces charge times by 15%. Of course, very nice for the charge blade. Means I can fill up those files incredibly quickly. The Stamina Surge is just a byproduct skill. I didn't actually aim for this. It just happens to be part of the Namiel pieces. But again, you know, increased stamina recovery is never a bad thing, so it's not exactly a wasted skill per se. We then have Guard level 3. For the purpose of this one, Guard level 3 paired with a Charged Shield is basically all you're going to be needing for the Charge Blade. You know, you can go a little bit higher if you want to, but honestly, it's not really that necessary for the purposes of what we want to be doing, you know, guard pointing, blocking and whatnot, and then following up into SAED. Guard level 3, paired with a Charged Shield, which is going to be basically all the time, since I'm going to be going SAED for this one, then that should give me everything I need. I, of course, have Offensive Guard, because that just kind of goes part and parcel with, you know, some nice guard points, and of course, giving me that attack boost in the process. Agitator level 2, this one, in truth, isn't necessarily a mandatory skill here. This comes from the helmet. I chose this partly because I needed a helmet with a level 4 slot and a level 1 slot, or at least, you know, a couple of slots for me to play with, and Agitator gives me a little bit of bonus attack in the process. You know, the monsters are generally speaking pretty angry, so it's not exactly going to go to waste. Evade here just comes from a couple of my dual decoration skills. It just so happens that the only Iron Wall decoration dual I had was Iron Wall / Evasion, and also an attack / Evasion one, so this is kind of there for that purpose, but if you're going to be evading, again, it's never going to be a waste. You then have Capacity Boost level 1, of course, boosting that up to 6 files, which is a must for Charge Blade, and Constitution is, of course, just an additional skill, again, part of the waste. Didn't really need this one, but it's just your throwaway skill. So altogether, that is a pretty nice set of skills. Again, keep in mind, the primary focus for this is just to be putting out SAD as much as possible. There are different ways to play. You know, I did at one point have a version of this set that I was trying to build that was more so around crit. It was more so around fighting Zinogre using things like Savage Axe Slash, and of course in that case that one leaned more into the Silver Rathalos set, so I could get the true critical element, and of course you then had things like Weakness Exploit, Crit Boost, that kind of thing. But I wanted to do something a little bit different because, you know, we've seen various permutations of crit sets. I've even put up a crit charge blade set before, which is one of the elemental ones, one of the ice focus ones, which basically has exactly what you want. So if you want to get that, and you want to play slightly differently, you can go and check out the episode of Mix It Monday that has the charge blade elemental set, and that's basically what you need. But this time, I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to make it so that it didn't necessarily focus around crit, didn't necessarily focus around weakness exploit, all those typical skills. I wanted to instead put some stuff into Max Out Thunder, and again, as I mentioned, given the kind of predictable nature of Zinogre, given that he doesn't necessarily move as fast as some other stuff, like if I was fighting Ebony or Garen, for example, who also happens to be weak to Thunder, then I probably wouldn't be going with this playstyle, because trying to hit an SAD on an Garen, it's just never going to be a good thing, right? But Zinogre's big enough, Zinogre's predictable enough, Zinogre's slow enough that I'm pretty confident I can land these reliably, much like when I was fighting Devil Joe earlier. So I feel like the surface area is enough that you can kind of get a decent return out of this, and at that point, that is why I put this together as the Stygian Zinogre Destroyer. Either way, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you guys have got your own ideas for sets that you're going to be using against Stygian Zinogre, by all means let me know in the comments down below. I mean, to be fair, you don't necessarily even need to go overboard and prep for it. You could simply just go with a raw damage set, basically use what you've been using all up until now. I mean, Stygian Zinogre, I don't exactly imagine is going to be the biggest challenge in the world, but regardless, it's kind of fun to once in a while make things slightly more bespoke, make things specifically around monsters, and that is what I did with this one. Anyway, I'm going to leave you guys with a little bit more gameplay of some of the hunts. Of course, there's a couple of different mix sets in here because I recorded these hunts with like different permutations of this set, so if the helmet looks a little bit different, this is kind of during the working process, but fundamentally, they're all the same. Fundamentally, they are max elemental attack, lots of damage output from the SAED. Either way, enjoy the rest of this. Stay tuned because, of course, later on this week, we've got tons of stuff to look forward to. We've got Stygian Zinogre, we've got the developer diaries, hopefully we've got that new mysterious dragon as well. Lots and lots of cool stuff to look forward to, so definitely keep it locked. really hope you guys enjoyed that video. Remember to hit that subscribe button and also click on the little bell icon to turn on notifications so you don't miss my next upload. Also, don't forget, you can check out 269 and Paradise Central streaming over on Twitch 6 days a week. You can find a link to the multi-stream in the description box down below. Be sure to drop by and get involved. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy. Catch you next time. Peace out.